Hello, everyone. My name is John, and I am a wellness professional. I studied meditation and yoga and wellness for many, many years, and now I teach and share about these concepts with other people. So, the thing that I want to talk to you about today is how to respond instead of react. I think that many of us have been trained to react in the past, and our reactions have caused some not so great situations to happen within our relationships, and we maybe have hurt people, we maybe have hurt our relationships. And so it's can be a better practice to, rather than react to situations, we respond to certain situations. So I am also playing games. I just wanted to briefly mention the fact that I'm going to have Halo running in the background as I basically talk about responding rather than reacting, just because it can provide a little bit of entertainment. So, one basically, the first thing I'll say is that reaction can actually be a very good thing. For example, in a game like this, my reactions to seeing different players around is going to cause me to basically respond quickly enough that I might have a chance at killing the other person. If I respond rather than react and maybe spend too much time thinking about what I should do, especially if they're in close quarters, that could basically prevent the right action from taking place. For example, there, I maybe could have reacted quicker and pressed the uncrouch button. So, in certain situations, it is absolutely beneficial for us in our lives to react, especially quickly. But oftentimes, our reactions basically can be too quick. And that's where responding comes in. So, responding is basically saying, I am witnessing this thing occur. I have a desire to react to this thing occurring in a specific way. And rather than just doing whatever that desire is, oh wow, this weapon is not easy to use. Yeah, so you might want to react to a certain situation in a specific way. And that is what we would call like your unconscious tendency. So, somebody, let's say you're in a relationship with somebody, they do something you don't like. Your tendency to react is to get angry. And you will have a desire inside of yourself to outlash in anger at the person. So, when we respond rather than react, what we're basically saying is, I understand that my reaction and my programming in this situation maybe does more harm than good, and it's not the proper way to respond to this. So I'm going to change my behavior and change my response to respond in a better way. I'm going to observe my reactivity. I'm going to choose not to react, and then I'm going to react differently. That's what responding is. You could call it like a three-phase situation. There's the initial desire to react, then there's the awareness of how your potential reaction maybe isn't ideal. And then there's the basically reframe that allows you to react and respond in a better way in the future. Whoa, getting shot right off the bat here. Okay, bad move. But yeah, so another thing that I'd like to ask you is to think about a time in your life when you have maybe reacted immediately, and especially in an unconscious way, where you look back on what you did and you say, that's not how I want to act, that's not how I want to behave. But yet you found yourself behaving in a way that maybe you weren't proud of or weren't okay with. So think about a time in your life where that might have happened, And if you can, then I'd like to ask you to think about what you could have done differently. What was a way that you could have responded in maybe a more patient manner, which would have allowed your reaction to have been better. So reactivity, I would frame as unconscious. It is your just the patterning that you have. Maybe there isn't that much thought towards it. Whereas the difference is that responding is very conscious. Responding is not reacting unless you are aware of how you're reacting. Whereas reacting is often not being aware of how you're reacting. That's a subtle difference, but it does make a big difference. Another way that you might like to look at it is, in that moment, I immediately reacted. In this moment, I'm immediately reacting. And then responding is when you think, okay, there's somebody up here. Rather than just running in, I'm going to choose how I'm going to show up, right? So basically having the ability to flip back and forth between responding and reacting, and to do so quickly, is obviously beneficial in many different situations. That's a hard battle. Gravity hammer versus energy sword. I don't know. I give that to gravity hammer 9 times out of 10. Maybe I need to learn how to use it better. Respond better. So if we want to have better relationships, if we want to respond to our environment better, then it's important to be able to distinguish between reactivity and just responding, and to actively work in our lives towards developing the capacity to respond better. Oh, nice. Okay, last few minutes here. I'm gonna just respond to the game. I think that's all the wisdom we need to share. Now it's time to win. Never mind. And I could react to losing with a negative comment, or I could respond to losing by thanking the other team for a great competition, thanking myself for playing, and just having fun with it. So thank you so much for watching. If you could respond to this video, I would love a like and a comment and a subscribe. Of course, if you want to react and just, you know, comment how bad of a gamer I am, you can do that as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll catch you in the next one.